it's also hilarious that the guys who show up's like, we have to burn all of the women here. And then someone else said, maybe don't do that. And they're like, oh, all right. Virginia had Everett with Leonard, and then she did her whole fall through space thing, go to a different time, bleed out on the floor of the Washington Monument forever. That's a really weird sentence out of context. Hoping that more men will not come along and do the same tragedies that they committed. So now that I said that, I can make fun of it. In 1949, the Statue of Liberty went through its renovations, and that's when they started feeding people to it on the reg. What's one thing that every gentleman has in common? That's right, being disgusting. Like, everyone's just talking or whatever, and he's sitting back there like, any moment now, they're going to rip out each other's throat. And he ends the journal entry for that section like, I hid the axe, just in case in the morning their bloodlust is still strong. Like... They were eating a fish. See, around the late 1800s, slavery was kind of dying out everywhere, and most industrialized nations were making a big push to stop it, and pretty much all of them were able to abolish slavery rather peacefully, unless you're the United States and you have to have a war over it. But there's just an old guy at the back of the boat, like, hunched over a notepad writing about how he can't wait for them to kill each other. Because if there's one thing this giant cave has a lot of, it's blood. A techno-biz, a dance club. It has a dance club, because of course it does. This entire thing is a monument to man's arrogance. There's a petting zoo as well, where you can pet the declawed lobster creatures. Anyway, and also, I feel like, as a scientist, Santiago should know that the chances of romance are incredibly decreased in an experiment. Every time two people may be developing some form of a bond, there's a 50-year-old man at the back of the boat like, I am clearly stating now that this video is for educational purposes, and I do not condone or recommend any of the activities, including cannibalism, mentioned in this video. The internet is telling me that a group of sharks is called a shiver. That's fantastic. Okay. That while interviewing people on the island, he went to an old man, and keep in mind this is an indigenous tribe in the middle of the jungle, and asked if he knew Michael Rockefeller, and the man said no. And then the investigator goes, aren't you wearing glasses? And the old man goes, yes. And the investigator says, where'd you get them? And the old man goes, I don't know, I found them. He said that, no. They don't eat people anymore because we made it illegal. And maybe he left the life of sophistication to become a part of the people that he was so enamored with. That or they ate him and then cooked his bones, which either way he technically became a part of them. Black people. So this all sounds pretty cut and dry, right? A civil rights leader was killed by a racist person trying to collect a bounty, and his fingerprints were found on all the stuff, and he pleaded guilty to it, right? No, and here's why. All right, so first off, because you know where it's going, and just to break the water, Giants goes in the Giants tier. Duh. And also, if any of this sounds brutal, like the people on the Pride tier have to carry big rocks and the people on Envy are blind, I want you to remember that there were multiple occasions in hell of people literally boiling forever. And that's the ones who were lucky enough to be allowed to move around. There were, like, remember the Pope tube? Where they were in, like, these stone coffins and on fire forever? Or the 10th tier, which is just being conscious and freezing to death forever. I don't know how much I can put my faith in a man named Cornbread, but I wasn't going to not mention that. And I understand that there could be logical explanations for this as well as many others, but that's no fun, so I reject them. In other words, the effects of soy has caused permanent damage to the human population that cannot be reversed, and the influence of soy products on humanity will lead to a totalitarian femboy empire. You're welcome. And this is the part of the video where I want to emphasize that this is a joke, and if any of the names that I say correspond to real people, that I made the names up, and it is purely coincidental. So, that being said, the FBI murdered Martin Luther King Jr. Like, they murdered him so hard. What I just said, reading it, is one of the craziest, most interesting concepts in all of Christian theology. And it came from a guy in the 1300s who was talking about climbing a mountain because his ghost girlfriend told him to. The despair code. So I love that this has become a meme now, the intruder face. It's funny, so this is a self-fulfilling loop now. I put that face as the despair code in a video. So Alex put it as the intruder in the Mandela catalog, which then made me pick that face for the despair code. It's all part of the cycle. Full putting away of personal agency, and the government's always right. Just don't question it. If you question it, you get shot. Just trust me. Nothing happened at Tiananmen Square. Why are you asking? And said that King was making things harder because, you know, those pesky workers, them and their human rights. Dinosaurs built the pyramids. Disneyland Underground Tunnel. Okay. To this day, no one has any clue what that means. In the middle of this massive symbolism of the chariot being the church and them getting in bed with the state, and the state trying to kill him as the eagle, and Satan stabbing the church, and all of that, Beatrice goes 5-1-5, like it's a sleeper cell code, and literally no one has any idea what Dante was talking about. On November 22nd, 1963, John F. Kennedy... Has it been past a minute? It's probably been past a minute. The CIA killed John F. Kennedy. Like, hilariously so. So to go ahead, cover all my bases, I do not want to unalive myself. I'm a great swimmer. I do not look like a deer. Is there anything else I'm missing?
You're a questionable swimmer.
Oh no? I don't know, like Satan worshipping fish down there or something. To which, the CIA brought in a man wearing a suit, holding an umbrella. The man walks into the court and goes, I am the umbrella man, and this is that umbrella. And the judge went, seems all right to me. There was no double check. There was no follow-up. They're like, that man has an umbrella. He's got my vote. I did search.